Hi, my name is Tom, and today I want to talk to you about making short films. Or maybe it's your second short film, your next passion project, where you want to take things a bit more seriously. And yeah, this is basically the video for you, because I already have some experience in this regard. I'm currently on my fourth short film, or even my fifth, if you count one that I'm not really counting, because that was my first one, and that one didn't really go very smoothly. So if you don't want the same thing happening to you, then listen to what I have to say, so you can be as well prepared as possible and don't make the same mistakes that I did. I already have some experience, as I said. Some of my films made it to some festivals, some didn't. I'm not going to pretend that I'm like the filmmaker to talk to go viral or go to the Oscars, because that's not me, and this is probably not the objective that you should have. I just want to help you make your short films go as well as they can, so you can have fun and be ready for the next one. So yeah, sit back, relax, enjoy, and listen to what I have to say. Alright, hear me out. I already broken this rule once or twice. I mean, my girlfriend helped me on my last short film and did the audio, but you have to be careful when friends and family, it's great, they're always available and they like you don't have to pay them, stuff like that. So it's really tempting to just use your relatives as actors and crew members, but you have to keep in mind it completely changes the dynamic, because in the end you want to make a good movie. In the end you want everyone to act professional, and that's a hard thing to achieve when you have people who already know you, who already know how they can get away with things, how they don't respect you maybe in some ways. I mean, this is completely different for everyone individually, so I'm just speaking for myself. We all have friends who are more reliable than others. Some you can really trust, some you don't. But I just want to tell you, don't just rely on your family to like help you out with everything, because they might not have the same passion as you, they might not have the same ideas as you, and they might be more eager to disagree with you because they know you. And I just want to tell you that of course you can use your friends and relatives as like crew members and even actors, but they should have at least have some sort of passion for it regardless. Maybe they wrote a script with you, maybe there's someone in your family who's really into audio or who's really into acting, then of course use those people. But other than that, I would personally suggest avoid using friends and relatives for everything, because they're not going to do as well as other people from the outside who you can maybe pay, which is the next point I'm going to address, and who will just respect you in that way more regardless, because they don't know you, they don't know how to push your buttons, and they don't know what they can get away with. So just as a tip, avoid using everyone in your crew who's like friends and family. I already mentioned this in my last tip, pay your crew. What do I mean by that? If it's your first short film, stuff like that, you're probably young, or you probably don't want to invest like thousands of euros or dollars in your first project, because you don't know how well it will go, you don't know if it's all for nothing. So what I mean by that is just pay a little bit. There's such a huge difference between paying someone 50 or 100 euro for one day of work, or one day of acting, or 2 days of acting, or sound, something like that, than just offering nothing. And same goes for food. You all have to take a break, and I know when you are shooting all day and you're passionate, you wrote the script, you want to do everything, everyone else around you is just helping you achieve your vision. So make sure you appreciate that, and just offering no money at all won't attract like the most professional people, the most people you can rely on, and it already creates a different dynamic if you have some money to offer. Of course you offer it at the end of the day, and if things don't go smoothly during the shoot, which can easily happen during your first short film shoot, you never know what can happen. And if it's raining all day, if your camera isn't working and the actor is sitting in the cold waiting for a scene, and then he thinks, why don't I just walk off, because I'm not getting paid anyway, and this is just some dumb student who doesn't know what he's doing. And if he's getting paid a bit, he might not walk off. So these are the things you have to keep in mind. And also in general, just don't expect people to do everything for free, and be as passionate as you are for your project, because you are the one who wants to make all this happen, and you can't expect everyone else around you to just do it for nothing. So make sure your crew gets something to eat and gets at least paid a little bit. It doesn't have to be much, but it should be a little bit. There's nothing worse than being on the location with your actor who's waiting to do his scene, but you don't know where to put the camera, where to put the equipment, and it's raining, and now there's like construction which you didn't expect, which is stuff that happened to me even on my last short film. But always keep in mind, be as well prepared as you can be, because you don't want that stuff to happen when you're running out of time, when you want to do your scene, but you can't because something unexpected happened. So make sure you go to every location that you want to shoot at a day before to check out everything will work. Maybe do a shot list, see how you can place the camera, how you can place your actor, and be as efficient as possible. Because trust me, there's nothing worse, nothing more awkward than not knowing what to do with everyone around you waiting for instructions, but you can't give it to them, and maybe other people have to help you, and then it just gets embarrassing. So this is really important. Be prepared and make sure when the day comes when you shoot, you can be as efficient as possible, because you're always running out of time and there's always stuff that can happen. So do your shots as quickly and as efficient as possible, and this only works when you are prepared. So this is why this is the next tip. Always have a plan B in case something goes wrong that you didn't expect. Because for some things, I already told you, you have to be as well prepared as you can be. But for some things, you just can't plan for if they happen. And on my last short film, we just suddenly had rain. No weather forecast talked about rain, but the rain came anyway. And yeah, we had to improvise. And luckily, for a scene that had to be outside, I had also a different location still in mind that was kind of covered by trees and stuff like that, where the rain didn't destroy everything. And yeah, we made it to that spot. Of course, we lost some time, but we were able to improvise and get the scene done in a different location where the actor just had to mention the rain. That's why she is in the different location. But it all worked out and the shots actually looked quite good. So if you're planning your shots, also have a plan B in case the location isn't available on the day you're shooting, because for some things you just can't be prepared for. And also your equipment, same goes for that. Always have a spare battery, have a spare lens, a different camera maybe. It doesn't have to be the same expensive one that you're using, but always have something as a backup. So if the equipment is failing, you have something else you can use, and so the whole shoot isn't a waste. So yeah, this is a really important one. I already mentioned it a little bit, but know your equipment. I'm not just saying have a backup for everything, also know how your camera works. Be as well prepared as you can be with your camera. There's nothing worse than fiddling around with some settings where you cannot find the setting that you're looking for, and your actor is just standing there waiting to do his lines, and you cannot say action because your camera isn't working. So make sure you know everything about your camera, make sure you know everything about the equipment that you're going to use, so you don't have an really awkward moment on set where everybody will just look at you and think, oh wow, this guy really doesn't know what he's doing. He's an unprofessional, and yeah, I'm never gonna work with him again. So keep those things in mind. Check your camera, check your equipment, make sure everything is set up for the shoot, and then when it's ready to roll, you know what you're going to do. This is a really important one. You probably heard this a lot. Audio is 50% of the film basically, or 51% some even say. It depends of course what type of project you're doing, but my tip is definitely use someone to do the sound separately. Don't do it by yourself, because things can go wrong super easily, and you're already wearing so many hats on set because you're probably doing the lighting by yourself, you're operating the camera, you're directing, you're script supervising, you are doing basically as much as you can because you don't have the budget, you don't have the crew. But for sound, I would always use someone else, so you have at least one thing that you don't have to keep in mind all the time. You still have to check, of course, but it's something you don't have to keep in mind while you're shooting, because then you can focus on more important things. I'm not saying sound isn't just as important, but you can at least give that responsibility to someone else. And yeah, my last short film, my girlfriend did the audio. On my previous short film before that, my dad did the audio. And yeah, both of those people aren't like professional audio location sound mixers, but they both did a good job because I had very decent equipment. So I spent a bit of money on like a decent shotgun mic, a good boom pole, and an okay audio recorder. And a shotgun mic with the right equipment always sounds fantastic. And yeah, you have to use a separate person for that. But in the end, it's going to be so worth it because the sound is going to be so much better. You don't have to like put a lav mic on the actor while you're preparing your camera and all that stuff, which takes a lot of time, takes a lot of resources and stress from you. So put that on someone else and hope for the best. And the end result, for me at least, was always much, much better than when I would have done it by myself. Always shoot a lot of B-roll. Why is that important? If you read a script or if you write a script, some things just don't translate as well on the page to like the actual video that you're doing or the actual film. There's always a lot more transitions, a lot more like B-roll that you have to use to like have your movie flow as good as it can, because there's always a scene that doesn't work as well as you expected. There's always some mistake you made where you have to cover it up with other footage. So transitioning between a scene, doing those fast transitions, that works maybe for like a product video, but that doesn't work for like a narrative film. So always have a lot of coverage for atmosphere, for like things that are in the background, stuff like that, because it's going to be so helpful if you have those stuff available in the edit when you notice, oh, the actor isn't really doing what I wanted him to, and now this whole scene looks awkward. What can I do? Maybe I can put some B-roll between, or maybe I can cut the scene and transition it in a different way. Trust me, shoot as much as you can. Also, when a character arrives somewhere, make sure you shoot all of the scenes with that in mind. So the actor should arrive there, should sit down on the bench. He shouldn't already be on the bench. Stuff like that will help you in the edit to just smooth a scene out. And that doesn't mean that you have to include everything you shot. It just means you have it available, and if something gets awkward, if something doesn't really work with the music, if some transition doesn't really work, you always have that coverage in the back of your head, and you know you can use it when you need to. So keep that in mind, shoot a lot of B-roll, be there on a different day, maybe not when the actor is there, because that's always like wasting time for your actor. So it's probably best to shoot those scenes or shoot all the B-roll coverage on a different day, so you have a lot of material that you can use during the edit. I already told you to be prepared and all that stuff, and I already told you that things can go wrong. But what you also have to keep in mind, none of this matters if you don't have your actors available for enough days. So always make sure you have enough shooting days available, so when things go wrong or when things take longer than you expect, especially in the beginning, you'd think like, oh, it's only 5 pages. This is only going to take us half a day and then we're done. No. This is never how it works. Always be prepared to shoot like a day or two longer than you actually think you're doing, and tell that to all the crew and all the actors that you need. So if you plan a shoot for 2 days, always tell them, hey, are you maybe available for like a third day? And I'm of course going to pay you for that one. We don't know if we need those days, but if something goes wrong, if you need to do some scenes afterwards because we didn't have enough time, are you available on those dates so you can finish the movie? Now this is gonna sound a bit weird maybe, but also a tip, don't shoot a short film. Shoot other things. And by that I don't mean never shoot your short film, but maybe do some different stuff before you go right into making short films, because that's what I did. I bought my first camera because I wanted to be a filmmaker. And yeah, I just learned every setting from my camera and what I had to do from YouTube, and then just basically started like doing my first short films. And of course they didn't go well because I never had really on-set experience. I just knew everything like from a YouTube video, and it's never the same than just really like learning your camera, how you can use it during the shoot and how things work in real life. And yeah, that's why I also am now doing music videos and some promotional stuff on the side, while just learning filmmaking, learning talking to people, learning how to like use my camera in lots of different scenarios where I wouldn't have used them in a short film. And it made me more prepared for my next passion project. So because I already like shot a lot of other things, I already knew exactly how my camera worked, and now I wasn't as stressed, because between the first and my second short film there wasn't much I've had been doing with my camera, and I basically always had to relearn a little bit how to use my camera, how to talk with actors, how to talk with people. And when you, between your first and your second short film, if you like already shot some commercials, you already shot some music videos, you already put yourself and your equipment through a lot of things that aren't as high stake as like your passion projects, you're gonna learn so much more in between those things. And then when you shoot your next big thing, you are going to be so much more prepared and less stressed about everything, and it really helps, trust me. And one important thing about that also is I made some money during those time with my equipment, and this in turn helped me to put a bit of more money into my passion projects, buy some new equipment and stuff like that, and yeah, do just a better short film all around. Don't be afraid to break the rules. What do I mean by that? If you're like me, you're probably watching a lot of YouTube videos about camera reviews and settings and stuff like that. And yeah, with my first camera, I always try to like be at the native ISO, never go above a certain thing, never change the shutter speed, because it's the worst thing to do if you don't follow the 180-degree rule. But in real life, when you are in a stressful situation but you have to get the scene done, you don't always have that luxury of like being able to use all the settings for the best possible picture. Sometimes you just need to get the shot. And trust me, yes, you want your film to look as good as possible and you want to do something as professionally as possible, but sometimes you just want to get the shot, and that sometimes means going over the recommended ISO range, adjusting the shutter speed so you can see anything, because maybe you lost your ND filter or you left it in the car and you don't have time to go back. And trust me, I've shot some of my most received shots, my best looking shots, when I was in those situations where I thought, alright, this is gonna look terrible, there's gonna be so much noise, and in the end it still looked good, because it's not the most important thing. The most important thing is to get the shot done. Of course, always be prepared. I already told you that a lot of times in this video, but keep in mind your camera can do a lot more than maybe some tech YouTuber is gonna tell you, and it isn't always about the best dynamic range or the best ISO setting. Sometimes you can go above the recommended stuff and still do a really nice shot and yeah, get your scene done. So keep that in mind. Don't be afraid to like do a bit of unprofessional stuff so you can get the shot done. Now, this is my bonus tip for you. Don't stress it. You're gonna make mistakes, especially if it's your first project. Things will go wrong. Things will not go as you planned them. And even if you watch this video till the end, it's not gonna prepare you for everything. You can't be prepared for everything, because in real life, stuff just happens. And that's fine. So we all do this, or you should be doing this because you love making movies and you're passionate about it. So that doesn't mean if your first project isn't like going to Cannes or the Oscars, that everything will be like for nothing, because you're gonna learn so much, and for the next one you're gonna be even better prepared. So this is my last tip for you. Just try to have fun. It's gonna be stressful anyway, things will go wrong anyway, but in the end it doesn't really matter, because you're on set and you're shooting your own movie. How awesome is that? And that's it for this video. It's already getting dark out. I think you can see in the background now the reflection of my light, which, yeah, really professional, but yeah, who cares? I hope this video was interesting for you, a bit of a different take from me. And yeah, if you like it, then please leave a like. Then I can do like 100 of these top 10 lists, because yeah, there's so much to talk about when filmmaking. And yeah, I hope this was interesting for you. If it was, leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell. And yeah, I'm never comfortable saying all that stuff, but yeah, do it anyways. And yeah, see you in the next one. Bye bye.